Hi, everyone. 9:12 is the time. You are watching Live Impact News. And this morning, a national conference is in our area. It actually already got underway yesterday in the Concord area, bringing together families and medical professionals from all over, talking about some rare pediatric conditions. It's the Pull-thru Network Conference, national conference, that runs through Sunday in Concord. But the event goes well beyond the medical side. We're talking about schools and what it means for caretakers. And that's why joining us right now is Sarah Deschamps. She is also one of the speakers at this event. She's going to be speaking later this afternoon. Sarah, we thank you for joining us here this morning in Live Impact News.
Thank you so much for having me and giving me this opportunity.
So, Sarah, before we get into your story, tell us a little bit, which I know is going to be about your story, what you'll be speaking about this afternoon at the Pull-thru event.
So in 2000, our daughter was born while my husband and I made the decision to move to Tokyo, Japan, when I'm 2.5, with a 2.5-year-old when I'm 8 months pregnant, give birth, and unexpectedly the daughter has multiple medical issues. So we spend the next 7 years while we live in Japan going back and forth to Los Angeles and Tokyo to have operations for her. So that her body can be whole and healed. And in 2007, we made the decision to move back to Minnesota. She was fine. We thought we could start over. I could start a new career, and both children would be back in the U.S. Educational system. It turned out in 2007 she needed an operation immediately after arriving back in Minnesota. And so what happened then is why I wrote the second book, and that is about the impact that medical trauma has on your mental health and what that looks and feels like. And it's a somewhat of a cautionary tale about how difficult it is to have so much time in hospitals, and how the focus is on your child and it becomes isolating, so that you then have to focus on that instead of on yourself.
We know that here in North Carolina, more than 2 million folks are caregivers. That's about 27% of our state. An incredible number. Why do you think so few people talk about the toll the caregiver takes on when it comes to your physical and mental health?
In my case, because my entire life was focused on saving my daughter's life. I would have done, and still to this day, our daughter's 26, anything to give her the best possible chance at a wonderful life. I'm guessing that's the same case for so many people. It's confusing to talk about. There's a lot of medical terms involved in it when you discuss it, and just in passing to talk to people, it's hard to explain. So a lot of us just keep it to ourselves, which causes a lot of harm to ourselves.
So you and your family were eventually diagnosed with PTSD. For yourself, caretaker PTSD, which I did not know that was a term, and then your daughter Lily, medical PTSD. Talk to us, explain the difference, if you would, and what that meant having that diagnosis.
Yes, for my daughter, because of the condition that she had, it made it complicated to go on overnights, to go on play dates, to spend time with kids after school, because every evening she had a medical procedure that she had to do, even when she was whole and healed. So it meant no time with other people, the way in which a normal child would be allowed to be. In my case, it meant that I simply spent my time focusing on her, and it means that you have no opportunity to be able to engage in what would be a normal activity in life.
Yeah. Did you notice the warning signs, and how did you know that it was becoming more serious?
In my case, the focus was so strong on my daughter that I withdrew from friends, and there was a very low point that happened, and that was that my husband and I drifted apart so much that we ended up getting a divorce. And that then finally led me to get help. I went to see a therapist who helped me to understand that I was in trouble and how she could help me. I went to see a psychiatrist because medication could help to be able to get my head above water. And ultimately, the psychiatrist said, tell people. Explain to your friends and family. Stop being afraid that they won't understand, and go out of your way to be able to talk about it. In the case of my daughter, she ultimately found friends, and she found music, and she found an opportunity to connect with people and to realize through therapy also that there's a way to be able to live your life and move on. It doesn't look like everyone else's, but it's her life. And in the case of me, it's my life, and it's our new reality. And it works. And we're both healthy and happy at this point.
That's good to hear. And you have released your memoir with Lily's Blessing. Why now?
The hard part of writing a memoir is to know, when do you put the book out? Because in this case, we're both still living. We're both doing fine. There's no exclamation point at the end to say, this is what's going to happen to us. The reason Lily said now, and she said, Mom, you have to write this book, is because she feels good. And she wants people to know who struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder that there is a way out. And there are ways to find people to talk to and to be able to feel comfortable for yourself. Even though you live with this condition, there are ways to be able to find a new normal.
It sounds like you had to hit rock bottom and walk through complete darkness. Looking back, is there a time where you could have prevented, some of those more severe steps in the process of your own journey before, to pull yourself out?
This afternoon, I'm going to give a presentation at the Pull-thru Network Conference, and one of the first things I say in my presentation is, I'm a cautionary tale. Don't do what I did. Do tell people. Do explain to individuals. Find a therapist early on. It's a diagnosis. In this case, it's a medical condition. And the doctor told my husband and me when our baby was born that this is a marathon. This is not one surgery. This is a lifetime. And find someone to hold your hand, a therapist, a psychiatrist, a friend, family member, to be able to walk on this journey with you, someone who's outside the daily stress that this involves.
It does involve community, doesn't it? Aside your immediate circle, your husband, your daughters, your family, that it takes a little bit of, this special community that understand each other on a different level.
Yeah, I titled my book, I Couldn't Tell You, because I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know you were supposed to have help. I thought I was supposed to be the person who was the fierce mother, the one who was going to protect my daughter, the one who was the know-all of all of the medical terms. I thought I was the one who had to do this alone. And that's what was wrong. I needed to know that everyone should be included and be a part of this. And even though everyone didn't need to know all the details of our story, they certainly needed to know that I and Lily needed help.
And so when you're in it, though, and you are the strong, the fiercest, the queen handling your business and Lily's care, how do you ask for help?
So it was, in the book I describe, it was actually my psychiatrist who finally said very plainly to me, Sarah, you feel better now, but Lily can still have issues. You need to get help. You have to ask a friend. And she helped me, and I describe in great detail in the book what that was like, the courage it took for me to actually talk about everything I had been through.
So tell us about the book again, and where can people find it?
Well, one of the exciting things I want to say, and that I will start my presentation about this afternoon, is to say there is a happy ending. So my husband and I reconnected, and he and I ended up getting remarried. So there are good things, and there are positive ways this can happen. The book is called I Couldn't Tell You, and you can find it on any online place.
Okay.
SarahDeschamps.com through my website is another way.
All right, fantastic. We love the happy ending as well. Fred is here in our studio right now, joining from the sidelines and just watching on. But we appreciate your time, Sarah. Thank you for joining us and sharing your story and experience, and hopefully it can help those who are also kind of walking a similar journey as you did and are.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
And we'll be right back on Live Impact News.